Good morning, everybody. This is Nicole with the Diana Initiative, and we are back with Hacker Summer Camp 101. So, for everyone who is either new to Hacker Summer Camp or just new to some of these villages, we're going to give you an overview. Today, we've got Star with XR Village. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Star with XR Village.
And what is XR Village?
Oh gosh. So XR is extended reality. That is an umbrella term for AR, VR, and MR. But I've taken the liberty to really expand into things like gameplay, where you might adopt a persona and suddenly change your reality or that of those around you. So it could even just be how you perceive the world. So slight bend on the definition, but that's what it's about.
Okay, so not just how, you're seeing everything around you, but how others are seeing you as well, both directions.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, usually when I think of augmented reality, I think of special glasses or headsets or anything. Is there any kind of equipment or things that people need to have to participate in your village?
Not to have themselves, but the equipment you mentioned is largely what we do have available for people to either hack or explore or play. It just comes in a few different flavors.
Now, a lot of villages have workshops and hands-on labs and talks. What assortment of activities,
Yes.
if I were to come in, are going to be available, and where might be a good place for me to start if I haven't done any of this before?
I would say if you're brand new, first starting out, just show up. And show up, and we will have an amazing crew of volunteers to help guide you through our section. That could be all of the things you mentioned. So sometimes we have hardware hacking or workshops around how to best deal with devices, which are a little bit different than just standardized computers. So how you do micro soldering or super specialized within teeny tiny chips, like that's a component you may not find because they're even smaller than like what badges use. So that's a piece, and that's often how you might onboard an attack to get access to the device. It could actually be hardware. So that's a big piece, but we have workshops, hands-on hacking, demonstrations. So we like to bring in good, not just good, but like really interesting use cases. So typically we have somebody that joins us from the National Laboratory System to kind of show it at scale. So we have digital twins. We've had full walkable models where you're in a HoloLens and having a very like augmented reality experience. And then we also have had and will likely continue to have bad VR to step through data. People really love it. And I don't think I'm ever going to not have them with us because you can see signals all around you. And that's just like it almost turns it tangible, which is really hard when you're talking about signals.
That is very fascinating because, yeah, we talk about things a lot of times that you just can't see, and being able to see them brings a whole
Right?
different element in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the biggest cheat code ever for fox hunting, but don't do that.
I mean, if it's not explicitly against the rule,
It's not written down. That's true.
so check if it's in the rules, and if not, you might be able to win a fox hunt.
Yeah.
Which, if
And if you
anyone's
don't,
wondering about the fox hunts, go and check the podcast episode we did with the RF Village because we talk
I
a little
love
bit
them.
about them.
I love them. They are super, super wonderful. And yes, signal capture is just fun in general and just seeing what's going on.
Now, is there
We
any kind of age restriction? Like you said, you've got people that'll help someone new go through the village. Do you work specifically with DCNextGen at all, or do you have anything for kids?
We did last year and we plan to do so again. It just will depend kind of on what I don't know what next year will look like because it's based off a theme and that comes from them. But we did do a great pairing with social engineering where it was really fun because all the guys from the federal government operating our demo labs of all these really high end, like super serious ending nuclear proliferation equipment things. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sending a 6-year-old to go talk that man into giving him some just ridiculous go make that man dance, right? And then we kind of coach them through how to socially engineer that. And it's just like it's the best kind of chaos. So we have activities explicitly for kids, but really we've had kids come in and just do the standard thing. And honestly, our best the person who got farthest with hardware hacking with the VR headset, it was a partnership our first year with Meta. He was 14 and he's come back every year. with his dad, and it's wonderful. So it's actually pretty family friendly, but also our talks tend to be more technical. So that's kind of where the actual security and technical side of things come more into the mix rather than just demos,
I mean, like, kudos to that kid. It shows
right?
that really anybody with an interest can latch onto something at DEF CON and make progress.
For sure, for sure.
Now, if they wanted to maybe do a little bit of homework in advance, for RF Village, it's like, hey, you should join the Discord and maybe read some of this stuff or check out some of the prior talks. Would there be like a specific YouTube channel, Discord, book
Mm.
that somebody might want to check out?
Gosh, this is where it gets really kind of emerging. So like I have very dry research papers. I find them fascinating. I'm not sure it would be the most welcoming to the new person. There really isn't a lot of support, and we don't really have an active Discord. It's better we participate mainly on Twitter, and through kind of the live event is really where most of our communication comes to life.
All right, so check out the Twitter and then maybe check out were any of your presentations last year recorded
Yep,
and put on the
all
DEF
of
CON channel?
Yeah, for several years. So please definitely check out the official DEF CON YouTube. That's a good redirection. Thanks.
Now, if I come to your village, we've got village hours and then it's
Yep.
over. Do you do anything after? Do you do a party? Do you do,
Oh,
um,
we
any
will.
get together? Oh,
Yeah,
there
I
will
don't know
be.
what it's going to be, but I definitely want to head in that direction. And I think I think especially with the smaller villages, like I would love to find someone like the Diana Initiative to host like a secondary event after, something that brings in people that are so welcoming. And another, I'm going to kind of steal the spotlight a little bit, but Lonely Hacker Club is definitely something that helped me immensely, and I'm very active on there, and I tend to do a lot of my shepherding or new people stuff via them because it was so helpful to me. But I could see a really good after party or something fun. I'm not sure what it is, but if you're down,
So keep your eyes on the Twitter because it sounds like there might be something happening around village
there's
hours.
stuff happening, right? Like always, it's the most. This is kind of the planning period, so I feel like ask me again in February. I think we'll have some more ideas.
And that is the important thing with all of the villages. If they've got a social media or if they've got a website, you probably want to check that out because things do change a lot as, for example, you find out what space you're going to
Yes.
have. And yeah, because, if you have a little bit of space, you might have to cut down on things, where if you have a lot of space, you might be
Yeah,
able to expand things.
for sure. And it just also really depends on what's happening in the world and in the market and just like AI. That's a brand new thing that had a much bigger presence. So like would we have known that 3 years ago? No. And it's grown ever like to be a huge share of the space. So I think in the space we're in, it changes. So definitely stay on the Twitter.
Now, for anyone who's not heard any of the other episodes, there's a thing called Badge Life, and then there's also
Yeah.
stickers, and there's like boards that people put stickers on. And so a lot of villages will either sell badges, give them as prizes, or they'll have stickers and they'll either sell them or give them away. Do you have kind of swag that people can collect for those who have that
For
need to
sure.
participate?
I mean, who doesn't, right? We have to. So we always have brand new stickers. We always bring out back anything we have left over, and we have lots of stickers being exchanged for free. We print, and I would really like to make a better effort towards fundraising in terms of we do one limited edition thing that generally last year we had a very generous sponsor, so we were able to share and just give them away, but on different plans. But I like to do one really special take home purchasable item, so a jersey or a hat. And then Badge Life, I want to do something probably with LHC for SAO for a badge. It doesn't make a ton of sense for us to necessarily have a unique one. So if we can append something else and make it just shinier, that's the route I think we're going to go.
And for anyone who hasn't seen the other episodes yet, SAOs are teeny little things that get attached onto the badge and use the badge's power to do something. Now, that something could be blink, that something could be send out a certain kind of signal. Like, it is up to the creativity of the person who designs it. But like, think of them as like Lego blocks. You can start with a
Yeah.
badge and then add one or more SAOs.
or simple add-on, which is what it stands for. So it's a pending something else.
Now, do you do anything else throughout the year? Well, not you, but does XR Village do any other like a B-sides or other local events or an online get together, or is it just kind of a DEF CON thing right now?
It really is a DEF CON thing. We had a year where it was taken on the road and it was a lot. So unless it's your full-time job, it became too much for just me. So I'm not sure. We tend to like to show up to underrepresented communities. So we did a lot like with Raices and some of the other outreach groups. But again, it's just too much. So I think we're really going to be happy at DEF CON and build through DEF CON. But as such, I take the DEF CON out into the world just as much as I can to show universities how they can set up an open bug hunt for hardware hacking that also includes mobile hacking. That, like, I do a ton of personal outreach, both with my day job as well as XR Village. So I take it on the road with me and just give it away.
Which, yeah, is if you haven't noticed the theme for people who organize villages, they
Right?
tend to over volunteer and tend to like pop up everywhere. So you
Yep.
will probably continue to notice this theme as I keep doing more
You
villages.
should. Right?
Now, if somebody is listening to this and they're like, "Oh, this sounds like something my company could potentially get involved with,"
Mhm.
how would somebody reach out either about a corporate sponsorship, a personal donation, or maybe if they just have some time on their hands, could they like reach out to volunteer?
Yeah, I would absolutely say social is the best way to reach out. I don't do you want me to read my email address because that is the
I
best
can
way to
put it
stay
in
on
the
top.
show notes. So,
Okay, so check the show notes for my email, but that's going to be your best means of communicating. We are a full 501(c)(3), so it is fully tax deductible. But again, we do it for the love, but we should probably be fiscally responsible at some point. So please
that is
help,
always the balancing act. Yes, help
right?
it be as awesome as possible. And so we'll check the show notes for how to either get your company to donate or you can donate.
Or if you have
And
sick technology to bring out and you want to if you have a proposal. So I've had artists come to me and show me what they're doing in AR and I brought them out to the show. Or I met in my many whatever I was doing, I met a professor who teaches solely in the metaverse. So that's a slightly varied DEF CON experience, but to me, I was shocked at how many people came through to her talk about meeting students where they were and using technology in a very different way to fully integrate an entire college. She teaches chemistry all in the metaverse.
wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So I like to do weird things that are related, but not necessarily like I hacked this thing and then it was this and then it was that. And that's fun, but there's a whole world out there. Take pictures, paint, do whatever.
So if you're using AR in a creative way, you may want to
Yeah,
reach out just to see if you
please.
can come to the village or present or maybe even do a workshop.
For sure. Our core artist actually was starting her journey to learn security and her art's phenomenal. But her work through that led to a relationship that allowed her to go pursue bug hunting. And now that's what she's focused on. So just like don't diminish yourself or think, oh, I'm just an artist. I don't fit in this. If it's interesting, that's really 90% of the game. Just come to the table and learn and share once you know something.
Awesome. Now, I guess, how did you get involved in this group? Like, did you start it or did you kind of volunteer your way in? And if anybody's looking to perhaps attend this year and loves it so much that they want to volunteer next year, how would they let you know?
Sure. Sure. So usually we have such a full volunteer roster. We have everyone who volunteers like last year, I can guarantee
Mhm.
95% of them will be back volunteering this year. So generally, I just I exhaust existing volunteers as well as just letting anybody who's proactively reached me, which is again back to my email address or on social media, Twitter. Oh, what's a kitty? There he is. She is. Who knows? Um, but the out if you proactively come to me, that's the best way to earn a volunteer slot. Volunteers we always address with any means of support that we can. So if that means that I get so many badges, I always they get allocated to volunteers first. Um, from there, but they are limited. So you have to get proactive early is the point. How did I get started? Gosh, so not so much me, but XR Village was an idea, and that idea was so compelling, it became like an informal stand up. Let me tell you about this shit that's going down as part of biohacking a few years ago. That idea was socialized at just a happenstance meeting that kind of evolved through the next year, where the person who originally had the idea and gave that first set of talks was now in a position where she had a conflict of interest and she couldn't DEF CON anymore. So I said, hi, I'll do it. And I just picked it up from there and formalized the nonprofit and formalized what we were doing. So I took the baton from a very capable hand and carried her idea and then added to it.
Awesome. And for anybody who's wondering, a lot of times something does start just with an idea. If you listen to the episode we did on fish stories, it was just a crazy idea. So, come find the village that fits best and then, see if they're willing to kind of foster your idea or let you stand up and do a talk. And if it's interesting enough, you may end up with your own village.
You're exactly right. And I really do like what you said there, where it's the person coming with an idea. I think that's absolutely the best way to engage. Where if you're passionate about something and you form that, just shop it around. You're in the best place to find somebody who might also be interested too. And that's like half the battle. It's like, I love mentoring, but sometimes when you show up with a person with an idea versus help me, that, which one gets helped faster? It's definitely the person who's a little bit more able to help themselves to then help you help them. Like we're going to get in a little bit going on or something. Help you, help them, help. It's like very circular.
But it is very true. And for anybody who's wondering, there is an official DEF CON forum that you can sign up for and have conversations with people year round. So you can start cooking up crazy schemes now if you want to.
And their Discord is sick.
Yes. Their Discord is hopping. So you can also check out the Discord, but it's like old school IRC and very busy. So be prepared for that. All right. I guess kind of last pitch. Is there any last things you want to make sure that people kind of take home with them for, they're prepping for DEF CON, they're listening to this stuff to figure out where they want to go. What thing do you want them to think about when they see your village on the list so that maybe they stop on by?
I would say it's worth the trek to the farthest corner on the face of the planet. We have a lot of people with equipment on moving in circles, so we tend to be on the outskirts, but please do at least just cruise by everywhere all at one time. And then decide. Don't feel too obligated to pack your schedule hour by hour. That's not how DEF CON works. DEF CON is about what you care about and your crew. And that crew can be found before or during the event. And you're really going to find more friendly people than not. And you're going to find people that if you gravitate towards what you find interesting, you're going to find your crew pretty much instantly. People are very welcoming and accommodating.
And if you find people who aren't, just move on and go to the next group, because every large group of 30,000 people has a certain percent of people who suck.
Like that guy. There's somebody in the crowd that's less than, but it is super rare. I hope that continues.
So yeah, just move on to the next person, because honestly, everyone is passionate about something. And you just need to ask them what they're passionate about. And either you're going to learn something new, which is always awesome, or you're going to find somebody who also shares your passion. And that just makes for a really awesome event.
Dude, it's my favorite thing about DEF CON is not entering the conversation with, hi, I'm Star and I work for, but it's, hi, I'm Star and I really love XR. Or I really am excited about doing Black Hat's Guide to Biometrics and making everyone barf next year. It's a random sentence, but it definitely creates people that are my people versus not.
Well, thank you so much. And I hope everybody follows your advice. Give a quick, my mom calls it smurfing. I don't know why, but give a quick smurf around.
You know what real smurfing is?
I don't want to know, maybe.
Oh, no. You should have that conversation, but that's adorable on many levels. You have some double entendre happening. But what am I supposed to be? What is your mom's definition?
Hers is you go and you kind of sneak around and check out everything, and just quickly. So I guess maybe the Smurfs when they were skittering around in Gargamesh's fields. So yeah, go check out everything and kind of get the
Definitely.
lay of the land. After you get the
And
lay of
don't
the land,
overschedule.
oh, don't even schedule. Honestly, do
One
not.
thing. You can pick one thing across 2 of the days, Friday and Saturday, not Sunday.
Yeah, don't schedule. Except for do schedule on Thursday to drop off your hard drive at the duplication village if you're going to do that. That you have to schedule. Everything else, have a vague vibe of what you think you want to like wander around,
Yeah.
and then when something catches your interest, just go for it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I spent an entire year once just in one thing and I ended up happy. I spent 1 year doing literally nothing planned and I was very happy. I spent and I mean you can have these stories, but you're not going to run out of things to do. That's for sure.
There is, with all of the villages, there is no way that you will run out of things to do. You might get overwhelmed by the number of things to do, which is why, fingers crossed, TDI will have a village for chilling out, like not a chill out room with music, but just an actual, you're overwhelmed and need quiet space. So fingers crossed, we get
Super
approved for that.
useful.
And, after you calm down, or maybe you have to like go outside to calm down, come back in and just pick something. If you need to, roll like a D100,
Yeah.
if decisions are a little hard.
I love that. Solid advice. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it from the village perspective and personally just welcoming everybody in and making it just a little bit less spooky, just a little easier to navigate. So thank you.
That's our hope. Well, thank you. And everybody, I hope you enjoyed this and be sure to check out their social media. Bye.
Bye. Bye.